I know you know where they are, so tell me, before I do some damage you won't walk away from.
Do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong and you prove them right. But through whose eyes you was wrong when you lose a life? Sometimes you lose it all. It's like you threw the dice and realize that you was off. Listen, do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong and you prove them right. But through whose eyes you was wrong when you lose a life? Sometimes you lose it all. It's like you threw the dice and realize that you was off. Longevity in life, people. That's the goal, stay the course. You are now tuned in to the Evolved Energy Podcast. This is where we push positivity through strength and evolution. I am your host, Twyce. Hope we're all riding on high vibrations today and staying extra positive, simply because today's episode is about positivity. So I want you in the right state of mind to receive this message. All right, I want to talk to you today about one of the most important skills you can never develop, and that's the ability to turn the negatives into positives. And let's be honest, anybody can smile when life's going their way. Anybody can stay motivated when everything is working out. But what happens when life throws you curveballs? What happens when your plans fall apart? What happens when your workouts aren't producing results fast enough? What happens when someone disappoints you? What happens when money gets tight? And what happens when life doesn't go according to schedule? That's where your mindset gets tested, because your greatest strength isn't how you handle success, but it's how you handle adversity. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it. See, one thing I've learned about life, it doesn't pick favorites. Like, every single person listening to this podcast has gone through something difficult. Every successful person you've ever admired has struggled. They went through the dark times as well. Every athlete, they lost. They didn't win all the time. Every entrepreneur, they failed. They didn't necessarily succeed everything they went for. Every strong person, they questioned themselves at some point. Like, they weren't just born strong and went through nothing and could get through anything. They had to learn this trait, resilience. See, the difference isn't whether problems show up or not, because they're all going to show up. Problems come no matter what. That's life. But the difference is, what do you do when they do show up? Stop asking yourself, why is this happening to me? I always used to say that. Why is this happening to me? Stop asking that. And why don't you ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Because every obstacle, it carries a lesson. And I had to learn that. I had to really slow down and stop and be like, hold on. Why is this happening? I got to watch out for this lesson. And that's how I got better. I just trained my mind. Every time a situation came up, I didn't automatically fold up and be like, damn, why did this happen? Now I look at it from the other end and be like, oh, wait, something's trying to tell me something. Let me take this as a lesson. And let me give you a statistic. See, research on resilience, it shows that people who learn to reframe challenges as opportunities to grow, they tend to cope better with stress and they bounce back more effectively after the setbacks. See, pressure, it doesn't destroy character, it actually reveals it. You know, when you go through something, it reveals who you really are. And you have to work on the resilience part. Everyone's not going to just bounce back right away. Some people, they have to train themselves how to be or how to respond to adversity. And after, you get good with that, then you become the resilient person every time a situation arises. See, one of the reasons I love the gym so much is because the gym teaches life. Think about it. You don't become stronger by lifting light weights forever. Your muscles grow because resistance forces them to adapt. Life works the exact same way. Every single challenge you're facing, it's resistance. Every disappointment, resistance. Every setback, it's resistance. Every single obstacle is asking you one question: are you going to quit or are you going to grow from this? See, I've had workouts where I felt weak, workouts where I didn't even want to be there. I was just tired night before, whatever. I just didn't want to be there. And the workouts that I feel, less energetic, those are the times where I push through and I show up anyway. And that's where the discipline's built. See, not on the easy days, but on the hard ones. It's easy to flow through a workout if you're feeling great, you got a good night's sleep, and you fueled your body before the workout. Then you're smooth sailing. But say you didn't sleep too tough that previous night, your energy levels aren't where they're supposed to be. That's when the discipline kicks in, because I've learned during those times, as I go through the workout, my body then it kicks into gear, and then I don't feel sluggish anymore. Now I'm on top of my game because I kept going through the workout, and before I know it, I feel better than when I started. Now I'm in my normal workout state, and it feels awesome because I pushed through that sluggish state. See, your muscles don't grow without resistance, and neither do people. See, one of the biggest mindset shifts I've ever made, it was realizing that obstacles aren't punishments. They're teachers. Think about every difficult season you've gone through. Didn't it teach you something? Maybe it taught you patience, maybe it taught you discipline. Maybe it taught you who your real friends are and who they weren't. Maybe it taught you to stop settling. Maybe it taught you how strong you really are. See, sometimes life has to make us uncomfortable before we're willing to grow. The obstacle wasn't sent to stop you, it was sent to strengthen you. And once you put that in your skull and remind yourself every time a situation comes up that this is a lesson, you will come out of that situation stronger and more knowledgeable. That's a fact. Now let's talk about excuses. And we all have them. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm too old. I'm too tired. My schedule is crazy. Listen, those obstacles might be real, but excuses don't improve your situation. They simply make staying stuck feel acceptable. The question isn't, do you have obstacles? We all do. The question is, are your obstacles becoming excuses? Because those are two completely different things. Obstacles challenge your growth, excuses stop your growth. If every time you came upon an obstacle and you didn't try to figure out how to overcome it, you're just going to run away from it every time you see that. Prime example, I think I said this before, computers. I wasn't good in computer class. So as I got older and time started changing and the internet started being relevant in our society, I shied away from that. I didn't want anything to do with the computers because I remember in science class, or was it Mr. Foster's class, I did not like the computers. I just couldn't get it. So I chose to stay away from the computers. But I couldn't turn a blind eye to society with technology, because if you didn't get involved in technology, like if you're not involved in technology now, you're kind of falling behind because that's where the world's going. So, me, in my case, I didn't even like the computer. I just did not go on it. But I knew that I had to embrace it and learn it because that's the way life was going. So now look at me. I'm recording my own podcast. I edit my own podcast. I do everything with the computer now, simply because I sat down and just said, you know what? Let me learn this thing. And it took a minute, like anything else. It takes repetition, but I learned it. And here we are today. If I never took the step to learn the computer, then my podcast doesn't get launched. Then I'm not talking to you people, giving you this great motivational information. So if you don't hunker down and tackle your obstacles, you're always going to be stagnated when that type of obstacle comes up because you don't know how to deal with it. So stop running from the obstacle and embrace it. Learn how to deal with it. You know that some of the greatest transformations begin with pain? See, pain teaches. Pain exposes weaknesses. Pain forces change, but only if you're willing to learn. You can allow pain to make you bitter, or you can allow pain to make you better. That's your decision. See, nowadays, I refuse to waste painful experiences. If I go through something difficult, I'm coming out wiser, stronger, more disciplined, more grateful. And that's how you evolve. Don't shy away from the obstacle or the difficult experience because it's going to make you better. Face it head on. Don't run from it. If you have a problem or an obstacle in your life, face it head on. That way, after you keep dealing with it and learn how to deal with it and become resilient, that is no longer an obstacle in your life. So what you used to run from is now obsolete. It has no place in your life because you conquered it. And that goes for every one of us. And that's exactly why I always talk about becoming a calm, disciplined warrior. See, warriors don't panic every time life gets difficult. They breathe, they think, they adapt, then they adjust. They continue to move forward. Emotional people react. Disciplined people respond. That's a huge difference. See, the calmness allows you to think clearly. Clear thinking creates better decisions. Better decisions create a better life. But you can't be clear if you're not calm and thinking about the obstacle or the adversity in its entirety. Think about it and then know how to navigate through it. A calm mind can solve problems, an emotional mind can never, because they're not focused enough. They're dealing with the emotions too much. Stay calm and respond. You know, something that changed my life was gratitude. See, gratitude doesn't erase your problems, but it changes your perspective on things. You can be dealing with something difficult, but you can still find something to appreciate within that turmoil. Maybe you're struggling financially, but you're healthy enough to work. Maybe your fitness journey is taking longer than expected, but at least you're showing up to the gym. Maybe life knocked you down, but you're still here, still alive and kicking. As long as you're still breathing, you still have another opportunity. There's a silver lining in every situation. You just got to dig deep and change your perspective. I got another statistic for you. Studies have found that practicing gratitude regularly is associated with better mental well-being, lower stress, and greater resilience during difficult times. So if you practice being a calm, disciplined warrior and working through the problems, learning how to navigate through the obstacles, you become a better person as a whole. And then when certain situations come up, you handle them like a champ. There's no freaking out and dealing with your emotions any longer because you've mastered the skill of being resilient and taking these obstacles and using them as lessons. So this week's challenge is simple, people. Think about one obstacle you've been complaining about. Now ask yourself, what has this obstacle taught me? Write down 3 lessons you've learned because of that experience. Then take one positive action this week based on those lessons. Stop allowing obstacles to become excuses. Start allowing them to become teachers. Life's not always going to be easy. There's going to be setbacks, disappointments, delays, unexpected obstacles. But remember this: every challenge has the potential to either break you or build you. The decision belongs to you, though. Turn your setbacks into setups. Turn your pain into purpose. Turn your obstacles into opportunities. And most importantly, never stop believing that something good can come out of something difficult. That's not wishful thinking. That's the art of turning negatives into positives. That's what evolved people do. That's what calm, disciplined warriors do. And with that being said, fuel your body, focus your mind, and evolve your life. And remember, nothing changes if you don't change it. This is the Evolved Energy Podcast. Peace and progression.